Hello, good evening, everyone. And this is the 10th week of this course, Foundation of Art Software. And I am the TA of this course, one of the TA, Kamna Mishra from School of Mathematical and Statistical Sciences, IIT Mandi. And the course is instructed by Professor Salab, who is from Department of Maths and Stats, also from IIT Kanpur. Uh, okay, so these are some class names, and then we will start the class with the strings. So, in the last class, we have seen some of the operations on the string. So, we have seen basically that how we can split a a string, how we can split the string, and then we have seen how we can count the characters. So, we have seen if there is uh, n- no character, then it will be nz char, so non-zero. So nz char is basically non-zero character. N char is basically the number of characters it will count. So in nz char, we see if there is nothing, literally nothing, then it will give this as a false one. uh, and then we have seen changing the case. So how we can change, like from lower to upper, we can just write to upper to lower, and by that we can just change its case, lower case to upper or upper to lower. Now in today's class we will see that in string, like it happens often. We have seen that in list also. We have seen regarding the appending also, we have seen this, that sometimes we may write the wrong thing. It may happen, right? uh, Let me save it as okay. So we have seen that it can happen that we have done something wrong, and then we want to change that particular place. Okay. So for that, we can use sub and g sub. uh, so that is basically the substitution of the string. Now the difference in sub and g sub is basically, for this it will just change one at one place. Let's say you have given uh, something which you have repeated two three number of times, and you want to change only for the first time. Okay, then you can use the sub one. And if you want to change this, then uh, you need to change as g sub. Okay, so that is basically for the substitution of the string. In And if you want to find that particular string, then to find that we use this grep or grep l. Okay, so we will see what is the difference between them a bit later. Okay. Okay, so let's say, firstly I'm going to remove all of this. So list Alice, I have removed all these. Um, then I'm gonna clear this also. I'm gonna help mass, which we will use later. Okay, so that is basically a library, so it will not work like that. Okay, so let us say that I have this x string, and I want to change, let's say, regarding the map. Uh, Regarding the I want to change this. I want to put a string, and then I want to change a particular uh, place. Okay, so let's say A has got marks uh, 20 in maths. Okay, and B has got um, say 20 marks. Okay, and B has got 20 marks. Okay, so let's say this is my string. Okay, now if I will change sub, okay, and I will change this 20 by 30 in x. So you can see that when I'm using this sub, then it is only changing in the first place, not in the second place. Okay, so here we can see that it is changing only in the first place, not in the second place. Uh, Whereas if I want to do this, let's say G sub. So it can happen that we have given both the same marks, but one has different marks, other have different marks. If I want to change this in this, then you can see G sub is basically, let's say sub is basically for the substitution, and G sub is basically for the global substitution. So sub will substitute only for the first one, and G sub will do for the second one. So let's say I have given marks. So let's say I have given percentage instead of marks, and I want to change this. So you can change this percentage or percentile, let's say. Okay. So that is we can do with the help of G sub. So that is, I think, very simple. All you need to do is that in if you want to just replace for the first one, you need to do for this. You need to also remember that it will always do for the first one. It's not that you want to change for the second one and then you can change there. So you need to you can only change for the first one. So it is basically a operation where if you have find an error at the first place, and then you can change it. And then let's say I have saved this as x1, and then if you will apply that sub again in the x1, then you will find that you can do it uh, again. Okay. Now we have seen the first one, sorry, this one, sub and G sub. So this one is only for the first one, and this one is for the global. So it will replace all. The next we will see is the finding the strings. So finding the string is basically, let's say you have a string, or you may have um, multiple strings, and then you want to see that whether a particular part is there in a string or not. So it can be anything. Let's say you want to see some particular word, or you want to see some particular numeric, whether this numeric is in this string or not. And based on that, maybe you want to conclude something that, okay, if this is a word, let's say you have thousands of strings, and you have like mean of this is this, mean of this is this, and some place variance of this is this, but you want to only focus on the mean, not in the variance. Then what you can do is that you can just search the mean. Okay, and then you have found all the strings which is having the mean. Then you can only choose the mean one, and then remove the uh, basically variance part. Okay. So now, uh, since x, you can see that that one is only one. Okay. So if I will just write this graph, and let's say I have written this got, okay, x. So you can see it is one. It does not mean that it has come only one times. It does not mean that, because we can see that it is two times. It means that this is of length. What is the length of x? What is the length of x? So it is one, because it is just one value. Okay. So in that one, it is true. So if I will take, let's say, x1, and I'm going to write same thing but with 2. Okay. uh, okay, so now you can see that we have written almost same, just in maths is difference. So x1, now if I write g wrap got comma x, then you can see, sorry, x1, then you can see it is saying that 1 and 2. So in both it has got this part. If I will write, uh, let's say C has 0 marks, okay, not got, then you can see it is saying it is 1 and 3. Okay, so it is at 1 and 3 position. In the second one there is no got word, so it is not saying that it is there. Now if I write the same got uh, x1, and I'm gonna write value is equal to true. So now value is equal to true means I want to see the whole this. Now it is not important that you need to write this a word as a word. Okay, so if I will just write go, then it is also same, right? So if I will just use go instead of got, then also it does not have anything like go. Okay, go, it is not coming, only in first and third it is coming. So it does not mean that you need to write the whole word. Okay, if you will write a part, and that particular part is available, then it will show you it is true or false. Okay. And of course, so in if you have not written value as true or false, then it will just give you uh, uh, the value with the false one. So now we can see just this here, uh, so that it will be much more clear. So you can see that here the pattern, so pattern is whatsoever we have written the pattern, the x, so the x is the string, then ignore dot case pearl value, this use bytes invert, so use bytes and all we are not going to use this. So you can see that all are false, okay, in itself. So we can write it and see what's the difference it is gonna make. So if I write ignore dot case as true, okay. Okay, so let us do this go, okay, go. So now you see the difference. Okay, so let me just do this and do this below, so that you can see that what is the difference each and every part is making. Okay, so I'm just going to remove this, all of this. uh, Now if you will just write just x1, because all everything else here is false right now, then you can see that it is just giving the numeric. If you will write value as t, then it is true values. Now if I am writing ignore dot case, ignore dot case will seem same, right? Because in ignore dot case, if I have given the same case, then it is not going to uh, give a different result. But if I'm writing this, so capital Go is not here. Okay, not in this one, not in this one, not in this one. But uh, if I say that ignore dot case is true, so ignore the case, whether it is uppercase or lowercase, ignore that. Just find whether it is go is there or not. So it may happen, right? So sometimes a person write in lowercase and uppercase, and they sometimes do not even think that it can be problematic. So in terms of finding, it will create a problem. So for that, we can use this ignore dot case. So now you can see that in this and this there's a different. If you have not written ignore dot case as true, then it will not ignore it, and it will say that there is character 0. So basically at no length, at no string, it is true. But if as soon as you write ignore dot case as true, it will say that okay, this is in this and this it is available. Okay. So this is basically regarding the G rep. Okay. Uh, Now, if I will write G rep L, okay, and if I will just write the same, the go and the x1. So now you can see it basically tells you whether it is true or false. Okay. So if I will just write L here, then you can see it is same. So here also, if I will write this, it will say false, false, false. But if I will write this ignore dot case as true, then it will tell you that okay, it is true, false, true. So that is basically grep. So this will tell you whether it is present or not. So basically, what wherever the false one it is, it means it is not present. So it is kind of, you can see 101. So true, false, true. And here it will only give you the index where it is true. So grep, if I just, if I will not give anything to it, the value true, ignore dot case nothing, then it will give me the indices where it is present. If I will write the value, then it will give me the strings where it is present. If I will do ignore dot case as true, then it will ignore the cases while searching. If I will use grep L, then it will give whether it is true or false. Okay. So this is basically regarding the strings, and it is more or less up to this much. Okay. So some operations we have learned in the last class regarding string split, counting characters, changing cases, and these two are we have learned today. Uh, okay. The next is the data frame. So before we move to data frame, because I have not taken the examples of data frame because that is too long, so we will just see when we will just learn to use the data frame. Okay, so till now, till you can see what is the answer. So what will be its answer? Sub dog need to be replaced by cat. I have a dog and a dog. Okay, so since it is just since it is sub, not global sub, so sub is going to replace only the first one, not the second one. So it will be this answer. Okay, the next is B. Okay. Uh, in the next one, it is written that what is the correct outcome of G rep ABC this and this. So we have just seen if we are going to use G rep, then what it will return. Okay. So you can see I have not written, this is basically a string. Okay. And this is the search. What? V? Why? It is firstly it is G rep, right? So it is gonna find, right? It is gonna find. Now it gives the value, it I will if I will write the value is true. If I have not written, then it only gives the indices. So you can see it here. Okay. So grep, if I'm writing just go and next one, then it will only give the indices where it is present. So ABC, you can see that ABC is present here. There is no ABC here, and then ABC is present here. Okay. So in the first and the third one, ABC is present. So answer will be C, not the B. Okay. Okay. This we have not seen regarding the letters. Uh, so let me just do this because it is very direct. Okay. So if I'm just going to write this or this, or let's say 2F, then it just give me the direct indices of this. So rather than giving you the value, it will give you the indices. So it is basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Now this is G rep L. Okay. Okay. So G rep L Celsius, we want to see in which part it is Celsius. It is L. So it will give you true false rather than indices. So in the first part there is Celsius, in this there is no Celsius, in the third part there is Celsius. So it will be true, false, true. Okay. So these were the just very simple, just so that you can remember everything. Okay. The next is the data frame. Okay, so in the starting classes, we have seen the data frames. We have seen some operations into it. We have seen the like when we have done this library mass. Uh, okay, so if I will just write library, help equal to mass, then it is giving me the whole documentation of it. So in this mass library, we are using this particular library because it has uh, a lot of data frames, so functions, uh, right? Then it has data frames. So we have seen the age2 data previously, so we will, let's say, work on that today also. Okay, and then you can see that there are a lot of data frames, so we can take some other data frame also. So there's animals, Boston, uh, for just string, initial two or three iterations of particular word within a string. uh, Basically, let's say you have, if you have a string, um let's say I'm giving it as, we have this and we have substituted like this, and let's say I'm writing it as x0, and I'm going to do this at x0, right? So you can see that I have done for the two. Okay, so this is one of the uh, way you can just replace. Let's say you have like 100 times it is repeating, and then you can replace. So only for, let's say, I have replaced it one time with using sub, because it will do for the first one, and for the second one it can do by x naught, right? So maybe you can save the, I mean, you can create a loop by yourself. So where you have given the string, and then the resulted string you can give as new variable, and then in that you can replace. So let's say two or three or four number of times you want to do that, then you can do this replacement. Is it, is it the question? Okay. So, okay. Fine. So next we were talking about the mass. So now there are a lot of data sets. Uh, okay. So you can see that weight loss of obese Christians and all. So there are a lot of data sets. So mm, okay. So we are going to take one of the data sets. So what is the data sets we can take? Mm, okay. So we have done a bit on the eighth one already. So let's take for the Boston one, and let's see what is there in this data. Okay. Okay. So for that, firstly, we need to use that library. Uh, and I'm going to write this Boston. Uh, okay. So you can see that all are this values. Nothing is like uh, just you can see that there is nothing like group kind of thing, so we cannot understand those by using this data frame. Let's just take some other. So what about this one, how this data set is looking? Okay. Okay, it is also not a lot of this. Okay, like let us do with this. Okay, so it has a lot of this. It has the character values, the division values, HS, the summary, everything in this data set. So we can understand a lot of operations by using this data set. Okay, it's fine. So once we have seen how our data set look, if I want to uh, see uh, basically whole names of this, then you can see that there are these are present. If I want to use row names of this, then you can see there is no particular row name given. It is just 1, 2, 3, 4 and all the indices. So basically the column names are important for us. So we have the state data, we have whether their gender, we have diagnosed one, the death and the status. We have we have categorized it, and then we have basically finally the age. So if I want uh, to see a particular uh, this column, then I can just use this dollar sign. Okay, so it will just tell me what is basically male and what is what are the females patients. Okay, now if I will write is dot numeric, so we can basically see that this is not numeric, this is the character, right? So if I will check this, then it is false. If I will write the same, like if I want to check the same is dot numeric, we have the same data. And if I will write the age, so age has to be a numeric one, right? So age is true, it is numeric one. Or you can just check this by using the mode. Okay, so the mode, it is the character one, right? So it is not the numeric one. It is coming like this. If I will write is dot character and this, it is saying in this was, it is saying as numeric. Let us see this data. What is the data set? This age 2. Okay. What is the mode of this? Okay. So this is obviously numeric. Uh, so if I'm writing a state, okay, I don't know if there is some. I think there is some number or something written in this. Okay, use call names and then use paste. What does that mean exactly? I have just given this the mode. Uh, I'm just changing this and I'm writing what is the mode. So it is saying that it is numeric one, but it is definitely not the numeric one, right? It is the list. See, by this one, we can see that this sex, this gender, this is uh, obviously only this, and the age is numeric, which is it is saying it is numeric. Uh, This is saying this as also numeric. Okay. Okay, so let us just leave this here, and then we will see, once we will see the whole data set, then we will see how, what is the problem in that. I think there is some issue. Let's take some other data set and see is there anything different or not. Okay. Uh, okay, so it has only values, it has no characters. Check for is dot data frame. No, it is not a data frame, it is a list. But if I'm just accessing this one particular part of whether a particular one is see it. Okay, so it is basically regarding as a list, but it is saved as a data frame. Okay, so I'm just checking for one another data set where there is a character, and then also it is showing as this um, body weight, genotype, deaths. These are all the numerics. Okay, okay, so let's just take this status directly. Okay, so this has this and characters. So if I will write the school. Okay, so there is some issue, I think. So it is not taking this as a character or a numeric either way, but it is, if you are doing the mode, then it is showing that it is numeric. But when we are doing the operations, then it is saying that it is not numeric. It is neither numeric nor the character ones. I don't know if there is anything else kind of thing to check. Uh, if I will write some other, let's say join, then it is saying the it is true. Okay, so there is some issue. Okay, I mean it is happening for all. So we have basically we can just check whether it is numeric or not, and then if it is not numeric, then it will be a character or list or something else. Okay, because it is dot character is not giving the right answer, I think. Okay. Now, once we have checked this, then we can see, okay, just see this data one more time. Okay. So now, if we have this state and sex and then death and then category. So these are the parts where there is a repetition. So if I will write is dot factor uh, age 2 and let's say state, then it is saying it is true. uh, if I will write this, then also it is true. uh, if I will write diagnosed, then it is false. So in the factors we have seen basically we can whether we can factor basically whether we can write it in terms of parts or not. So if a value is repeating, so let's say nsw is there, it is repeating, and then there are other also, then it is repeating, then we say that it is kind of a factor. If not, let's say diagnosed one or death one, so these are particular numbers, so these are not going to repeat. So the first one, second one, and then fifth and sixth, so these are the parts which are factors, and the diagnosed, death and age, so these are parts which are not factor, right? So if I will write factor, okay, so sorry, it cannot be factorized, the first one. If I'm writing this, then you can see it has factorized into two. So there are basically two values, just male and female. Okay, so let me just do this. And if I want to do this by state, then you can see that there are basically three states, and all are other are covered in others. So this is the factor of state. uh, then we can use, let's say, the category. So you can see that there are basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. So basically there are 8 categories, so it may have some meanings, that blood cancer or cancer from the genes, or hemoglobin or whatever, we don't know the biology. Okay, so that is the way we can just do its factor also. Now if I will just write the summary of this, it's 2. Then we have this summary, that there are state values, so there are this many values, so mostly are from nsw, and then there are others. Mostly there are males, we can see. Diagnosed one, we can see uh, how many diagnosed, minimum, maximum, etc. We can see the death uh, also regarding this. Then the status, it's A or D, it was also something we don't know. Then category, so mostly are from HS, and then there are some which are coming from other classes. And then there is age, so what is the minimum and maximum age, so mean age, so you can see it. If you will just find the summary of this, then you can see it is basically happens in 40s, okay, or late 30s whatsoever. Okay, so then we can see that this is basically the summary of the patients. Okay, uh, the next is that, because we are writing one thing again and again, which is aids to, right? So rather than writing aids to again and again, what we can do is that we can just attach this aids to. And then if I will write anything, let's say state, then it is giving me state. I do not need to write state separately. But if I write detach aids to, and I have detached this, if I will write state, then you can see that there is no object named state found. So if you are sure that you are working on a particular data set, then you can just attach this, and then rather than writing again and again, you can just do operations after attaching. And once done with this, we can just remove this detach, and then it will remove all of it. Okay. Okay, so till now we have gone through a data frame. We have seen some of the operations. Later on in this class, we will also see some plottings and all based on that. But before that, we will see uh, how we can create a new data frame, and then we can work with this. Okay, so this one was regarding the previous data. If you attach, then it will come, otherwise it will not come. Okay, now we can make a data frame on our own. So we have seen how we can make the matrices, the list, the data frame. So in the vector, we need to just write by C, and then whatever we will give it inside, it will create a vector. In matrix, we have seen that we need to give the data, and we need to also define the number of rows, number of columns, and then there has to be some kind of multiplication present. That matrix, let's say matrix cannot be of length that is like we are giving the data of length 7, right? Because matrix can have like, until unless it is 1 cross 7 or 7 cross 1. Otherwise, if it is 2 by 3, 3 by 2 matrix, then we can only have 6 entries. So there has to be some multiplication of dimension, until unless one of the dimension is 1. So that was kind of foundation. Also in matrix, if we have let's say all the numerics one, all the numeric values, then it is basically we can perform a lot of operations, summation and all. But as soon as we convert one numeric to a character, we cannot do any kind of operation in that. Then we have seen the list. In that list, there is no boundations. In the matrix, we have seen the merging by R bind, C bind, basically the merging of two matrices, row wise and column wise. And then in list, we have seen there is no restriction literally. So we can give the vector, we can give a matrix, we can give a data frame inside of it, and if we can append uh, any other basically vector or anything else, and then we can just merge it by using the C. Okay, so in data frame also, there are some kind of restrictions regarding this length and all. So if, let's say, first column is of 16 length, second is of 17 length, then it will not work. Okay, so let's do firstly. So we have used X, etc. So we can use Y. So let's say the first one is just for the indexing. So there are, let's say, 10 people. Okay, and the Y1, let's say we can take a matrix, uh, matrix, and then we can give some data to it. Let's say I'm giving the same data, and I'm saying that number of row is 2, number of columns is 5, right? Um, then if I will make a data frame out of it, uh, data dot frame y comma, sorry, not 1, y1. Why the hell can I say this? Sorry, data is not x, data is y. Okay. So, if you will see y1, so y1 is basically this matrix. Now in data frame, what happens? It will not convert this y1 matrix and into 1. It will just repeat it. So y, you can see it is 1 to up to 10. Y1 is basically 1 2 up to 10, and then 1 2 up to 10, then 1 2 up to 10, this and this. So it has repeated 5 times. If I will make a change here, let's say end row is 5 and end call is 2. Now my y1 looks like this, and data frame will also be changed. You can see there is only 2 times repetition, 1 and 2. So basically, regarding the y1, and in that it will write the exact matrix and repeat it as many number of times as it needed. What will happen if I do this? Here I'm gonna write the same. What will happen in that case? You can see that the data frame y and y1, this imply differing number of rows. So basically it has to be, one has to be multiplication of other one. So if it has to be, uh, let's say some multiplication of this, so it is basically, uh, if it I will repeat it 2 times, then it will have length 10. If I will repeat it 3 times, so it is not necessary to do this 2 times. If I will just write this, then it will repeat 3 times, 1 to 15. But it has to be multi it has to be multiplication of it. Okay. So the matrix, basically you can see the number of rows. uh, the number of rows here needs to be a multiplication of this length. Okay, so you can see we have got some kind of restrictions already when we are using a making a data frame. So in list there was no instructions. Okay. uh, okay, so now this is regarding the how we can make it. Okay, now uh, we will again go to our this, and we will just attach it. Okay, so we do not need to write it again and again. uh, okay, so here basically we need to write this. So till now in the summary part we have seen uh, this category wise. In this, if I will write str, then we can see that firstly, these many numbers of operation observations we have of 7 variables. Then we know that it has basically 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, so 7 variables. The first is a factor with the levels 4. So with 4 levels, so we have seen as W, we'll see something like that, other, and one more. 6 is with the factor with 2 factors. So basically it is with the factor female and male, right? Then diagnose is an integer, death is an integer, status is with 2 levels, but it is A or D. Category is of 8 levels, and then age is again an integer. Okay, so I will just write is 2. Then you can see this is basically the data we have again. Okay. Now we will move to some plotting. Okay. So plots will come here. Okay. So if I will write bar plot of mm, let's say um, okay, so we can't make this. Okay. So you can see that this is the bar plot. Okay. So HS is maximum, which is 2465, and all others are seeing very low. So it is almost saying as same 72, 48, 41. And then you can see this, and blood is a bit high, then mother is very low, and then other is 7, right? Uh, next, uh, okay, and so now basically there are two types. Okay, uh, the first is that um, the first is basically the bar plot, and there is another named histogram. These all same, seems to have like same kind of thing, but these are different. Okay, uh, let me show you one more example. Mm, okay, the bar plot of age. Yeah. So what we can do is that we will see two things, and we will see the difference. If I'm writing bar plot of age, so we know that age is a numeric one, then you can see this is how it is coming, right? So basically the first, it has given the first age as 35, then 53 and something like that, but we are not able to understand anything from this. So what we will do is that we will write bar plot of table of age. Now you can see this is the plot. Okay. So how it is basically making the difference. So if I'm writing table of age, sorry, age. So basically what do we have? We have the age. So if I'm just making the bar plot, then it will just give me all the values. If I'm writing the bar plot of table, so you can see it is saying that there are four people of age 0, 3 of age 1, 3 of age 3, 3 of age 5, 2 of age 9, and something like that. And then you can see in the middle one we have seen also that mean was regarding at this point. So you can see at very small age there is very less, at very high there is also less, because number of people is also less, right? Here there are more people, and you can see that at 30 there is 117. So here we can see that okay, the most of the people are lying between, let's say, 25 to 50. So basically 25 to 50 is like most of the patients diagnosed are of age 20, are age in between 25 to 50, 50. But from this plot you will not understand anything, right? You will just see some lines, and then also we will not be able to understand because there is a lot of lines. Okay, so we always make use of bar plot of table of age. So table of age, and also you can see that in this axis there is nothing, so it is the age. Okay, so age is 35, 43, etc., etc. Whereas here there is, this is the age, 0, 5, 12. This is the age and this is the number of people. So for 0 there are 4 5 people, for 1 2 3 4 5. So for 5 how many peoples, for 12 how many people, and something like that, so up to 82 age. So it has some x-axis and y-axis. Similar way we can make this pie chart. So basically, uh, I need to write the same. So pie chart you can see, um, because most are from this part, so it is coming as this. But as soon as you reach from the 81 82, then it is very less, for 1 2 3 4 also. So you can see from 1 to 20 it is very less. And Okay, so let me just remove it for some time. Okay, I hope the meeting is here. Okay, so we can see that from 1 to 20 it is very less, and after 60 it is very less. So for 1 to 20 is basically, and after 60, even after 53, it is just collapsing here because there is very less. And then here you can see a proper pie chart of this. Okay, so these are basically numbers. We can also make this pie uh, chart for category table, because there are 8 categories. So you can see that HS is basically the most category. Then there is mother, that is just 7 values, I think. Then this, then HAME, HET, HSID, and most of the part is coming from this HS1. So that is this. Now in this we have just seen the very basic. Now if you want to add a plot in your work, you are not going to use this kind of plot. You may want to use some other thing written here, like the category one. You may want the different colors and all. So these are other things which you can learn when you are making the plots. So because there are a lot of ways to basically change these plots. Okay, so make it like more beautiful kind of thing. Okay, fine. uh, okay, so these are regarding the plots. Now uh, if I will write histogram of age, uh, and bar plot of table of age, that is awesome. So what is the difference is basically in between histogram and bar plot. So basic difference is basically, we in the bar plot we have the discrete data, it makes as discrete data. In the histogram it works with the uh, continuous data. So what is the difference? So basically, let's say you are working with the age one, you may work with the salary one. So let's say a person has salary for 14,000, a person has salary 14,200, and then let's say some random values. Then if you will make this kind of thing, like, right, then it will say that you can see that 0 1 2. Otherwise we can just take it as a part, right, 0 to 5 and all. If you will see the histogram, then you can see a better result. So it has basically divided into 5. So 0 to 5, this and all. And then you can see that it is much clear, right? So because, and this can also come only when it is the numerics one. So let me say it like this. If you have basically, let's say, age 0 0 0 0 0, and then 1 1 1. So okay, you can just see that okay, this is 3, sorry, 5, and this is 3. But if you will have, let's say, the age, and they have given basically in months, because if you are, because 0 age is means newborn baby, but in the starting we mostly say that it is 7 months old, 6 months old. So let's say I'm giving in some kind of integer, sorry, some kind of float values, and I'm saying uh, zero point 0.8, and then 0.1, and then 0.2, and then 1.3, 1.5. Now you can see all the values are different. So previously in the 0 it was coming as 5 and 3 as 1 as 3. But if I will give the age in months, then it will just make a plot like this. Okay, in 0 it will be 1, in sorry, in 0.6 it will have one value, in zero point 0.5 it will have one value. So that will not make any sense. What makes sense is that okay, there are 0 to let's say 5, there are this many peoples and all. uh, this is regarding the age. Basically when we move more to real life, then we need the histogram much more than the bar plot. So you can see the stock market nowadays. So in stock market, basically let's say in one of the stock, there is a hike of 1.9 rupees, and then there is 2.9 rupees, and etc etc. So if you will make a bar plot of it, then it will make all the values, it will tick 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 all the values. That will not make any sense. So we just see the histogram. So basically histogram is much more useful if you have a long data, and the difference is very small in between the values. Okay. Okay, now this is we have seen regarding this. Now what if we want to make use of this uh, subset? So we can create the subsets. uh, so t dot category, uh, let's say I want to make a subset where t dot category is id. Okay, sorry. Okay. So now you can see that whatever places where it happens because of this ID, or it is in ID category, then you can see that there are less values. If I will write just mother, everything. So you can see that there were only 7 values. So there are 3 people from NSW, one is from QLD, one is from VIC, and there are other two. And you can see there are 4 females and 3 males. And sorry, in the males and females category, up in this males category, there are this many diagnosed, this many deaths. Uh, and then we can see AD, and these are all coming from this, and this is the age of all the patients. Okay, so this is basically how we can make a subset regarding one way. So this I have taken only as a category. Other way we can do, let's say subset age 2, and we have the state, diagnosed, death. So we can take this as state also. So let's say state, uh, and state I'm writing, let's say, as other. So oh, sorry. So there are basically a lot of values from other, so that is why it is saying like this. So we can basically make a subset based on category, based on state, based on gender, or whatsoever. We cannot make by death and all. Whatsoever are the values, we cannot make it by this. We can make by gender and all. So if I will just write sex and female, so you can see that there are these many females. Okay, and when you will do by this, then you cannot do, then we do not have this answer. Okay, if I will make this, then you can see, uh, it is not giving actually the right answer. Okay, there are other ways also where we can make this subset is 2, and let's say uh, the age is greater than or equal to 25, right? So we have, we can make the data sets. Let's say how many are greater than 50, how many are less than 30 age, or what is the number of diagnosed patients, and all. Based on that we can do this. Okay, so this is basically making some data sets and all. Then we can, till now we have seen just making a data set. We can do one more thing. We can split our data set based on a category, based on this gender and all. So we can use split our data set, which is AIDS 2 data set, and uh, we can split, let's say, based on category. Okay, so you can see that, uh, like other values cannot come, it is so high. Okay, from here we have, um, okay, so we have all the columns actually. So from HS you can see that these are from HS, and then it has omitted other values because it has so high values. Then it's from HSID, from HET, then from HAEM, then blood, and then mother, and then others. So we can split this data set. Mm, let me save it as S1. Okay, and then in S1 we can basically uh, get that data set, right? So rather than categorizing it, like if you will make subset is 2 and T category mother, then you can do this. Otherwise what you can do is that you can just split that data, and from that, whatsoever you will do, you will have the data of that part. So that is I have done with the category. We can do this with male, female, gender, basically, and other ways, like whatever the columns of it, based on that. Okay, uh, So that was regarding the splitting of this data set. Then we can next do the combine and merge. So basically, we can combine by using this C bind, R bind, and we can merge is basically we can join two data sets. So in matrix, we have just seen uh, C bind and R bind, right? We have not seen the merge. In this, we can see the merge also. Okay. So for that, we need to take a kind of data set. We need to make a data frame. Uh, okay. So okay, so let us make one data frame. So I'm going to make data frame set dot data dot frame. Okay, so let's say uh, these are some, let's say, from the class and the number of students in that class. So let's say we have the class, and then the class can be let's say, let's say ninth, uh, 10th, 11th, and let's say 12th. Okay, let's say these are the class and the number of students, so we can write ns, and let's say there are 80 students in ninth class, and there are 75, then let's say 84, let's say it is 79. Okay, so this is one of our data frame, and then let's say I have the data frame of uh, class, let's say sixth, 7th, and 8th class. Okay, and number of students here, let's say 110 and 97, and let's say 99. Okay, so we have these two data sets, 1 and 2 data sets. Now uh, if I want to do this C bind of z comma z1, so now you can see, okay, let us firstly see how z and z1 looks. So you can see bind, how it happens, it binds column wise. So uh, if you have one data, and if you have one data which is like this, then this is going to be empty side, right? It has nothing to work with, merge with, right? So it does not work. In the matrix also we have seen that number of this and this needs to be same or something like that. If I do r bind, then you can see it can r bind this. If I will do z1 z, then also it will be just, it will just flip. So we can see we can merge two. So we have class 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10th, 11th, 12th. So we can merge these and these data set. Uh, Now let us make one more data set, which is data.frame, and uh, I have given their information like number of students, but I can give more information, much more information about that. So let's say I have this class this. And till now we have given this information as just the number of students. uh, then now we can give as let's say number of students and other information we can give. mm, just the number of students, what is, let's say number of past students who have passed the exam, let's say. Okay, so let's say there are 77, so it has to be less than this. Then let's say 68, and then 75, and let's say 65. Okay, so if I will do now C bind Z comma Z2, so you can see it has bounded it as uh, class 9, 10th, 11th, 12th, number of students this, and then a number of past student who have passed the exam, let's say. Then this is this, but you can see that this class is repeating. So if we do not want to repeat it, so let's say I have a data frame, I have some, let's say, rows or something like that. I have some information about it saved in one data frame. I have downloaded more information, then it will just do I mean first column is going to present everywhere. Then what we can do is that we can merge Z1, Z2, and by class. Sorry, Z. So now you can see if I'm writing Z, Z2, then it is the class is repeating. But if I will say that merge this Z and Z2 by the class, then it will merge it by class. So that will become much more better. So what we can do is that we can merge this kind of data set. So let's say we can get new information about the same data set, and we can merge all in that one place. Okay, so that was regarding this data frame and then merge part. Okay. uh, okay, so is there any questions regarding this, like whatsoever we have done in today's class? Is there any questions? Okay, good. So, whatsoever we have done, we will just have a quick repetition, and then we will see we can if we can do some other uh, analysis based on that. Okay. So, firstly, I'm going to remove it, and firstly, we have seen how we can do substitution. Uh, Globally or at one part. If we want to do that for two parts, we can like let's say save it in other, and then we can do it. The globally it will be done for all. Then we can see we have seen that if uh, basically grep is basically going to give at which places it is true, so it is going to give us indices. If we will say that rather than indices give the value, then it will give the value. And the next is that if I will just do ignore cases, then it will give ignore the cases of searching part. So uh, it will, if I will not write ignore dot cases, then it will not ignore it and it will not search properly. uh, Next we have seen for the letters how we can do. Next we have seen uh, basically a data frame. We have seen the column names, row names, Then we have seen most of this. Then we have factorized it. We have seen the summary. We have seen that rather than writing a to again and again, we can attach and detach it. So after detaching, it will just uh, not come. Okay, so it is not going to come. Then we have seen how we can make our own data frame. So we can just do this and make a data frame. Then we have seen that summary is good way. We if I write summary here, so we can see that in summary we have got a lot of informations. But in string we have also got some information that uh, what are the basically ways it can be written. So these are the let's say third, fourth, and the last one are the integer values, where other are the factors, and we can divide it in some kind of form. Then we have seen the bar plot, how it is making the difference, that we need to take the table of that rather than just directly. Then we have seen the histograms. What is the difference between histogram and bar plot? So bar plot is basically going to make it as discrete one, whereas the histogram is going to make it as the continuous form. Okay, next we have seen that subset. So how the subset we can make. So based on mother, based on the categories wise, based on the gender, based on the state. There are a lot of ways we can make the subsets. Other thing is that rather than making the subset again and again, we can make the split ones. So uh, after splitting, we can just search that okay, we have splitted, let's say category wise, we can split other wise also. Then we have seen that how we can make a data frame. uh, then we have seen, uh, let me write this also, that it is not going to run, but still we understand. So it cannot run because it has different number of rows. Then we have seen z2, and then we can see that sometimes it is better to use the merge function rather than this cbind. Okay, so this is up to we have seen. Okay, now if I will write let's say these two. Okay. Okay, so in this T category, I have seen that there are some males, some females, right? So let's just try how we can access this. It's two. Okay. So if I will write like this, then it is giving me zero data frame, right? It is not able to understand that categories mother and sex is this. So if I want to satisfy two condition at one time, that what happens. So basically I want to tell it that search it where the category is mother and the gender is female. So I need to write this and sign, so it will only give. So if I just remove all of this, so if I will give this, then it will give me male and female. If I will categorize more, then it will give me this. Okay. Now in that, like we can make use of this. If I will use this, then you can see what it is doing. So it is doing, it is like either the category is mother or the gender is F. So it is basically the mother, when the mother is this, and all these category. So it has basically added these two, that okay, if the category is mother or the gender is female, then it will merge these two. If I want this, we can do this, and then we can make like other two. Let's say uh, category is, let's say, something different. Let's say HS. So you can see in HS there is only one female, all other are males. So there are a lot of males. You can see that there are a lot of males, but female there is only one. Okay. uh, then what we can do is that we have this done this HS, and then we can see it is coming from a particular this. So that is, we can do QLT. Okay. So this is one thing. Then we can make one more thing. Let's say status as A. Sorry. So it is D or A, right? It has to be equal to. So you can see that these are the values. These are the values where the category is HS, the state is QLD, and the status is A. So basically, I have taken a particular set, right? A particular subset where we have all the information about this particular one. Now you can see that if you're working with this, now you can remove all of this, because all the columns have QLD male, and okay, female is there, one of this, and then status is A. So basically we can remove these, and we know that these are the information when the state is QLD and status is A. So that is, you can merge basically 2 3 columns, and then you can understand their subset also. Okay. uh, Fine. So once we have done all of this, let me put it here. Once we have done all of this, we can detach this H2, and then uh, none of like, okay, histogram of age. So it cannot find this age. So once we have detached this, okay. So this is more of, or more or less, for the today's class. If you have any question, then you can ask. Uh, okay. So we have also seen that how we can make the subsets by uh, like by taking the two columns that condition satisfies in these columns. Okay. So this is regarding today's class, and in the next class we will see more of this data frame, etc. And then till now we have only seen how to make our own data frame, right? But in general, so let's say here we have used this h2, but we will have a lot of data sets which we have on our own, but it is not in the R. So right now we have taken the data set from this mask package, uh, right, from this mask package. But when you have your own data sets saved in one of your file, so let me show you. Let's say, mm, in downloads, uh, let's say if I will just go to this, okay, so if I will just go to Excel, so you can see I have a lot of data sets. I have temperature data set, global warming, rainfall, daily maximum temperature, ch4, ch2, okay, rain, etc. So when in reality you will have your own data set on your own form, so and that will be saved in some CSV and Excel file. So in the next class we will see how we can import these data sets in R, and then we can save it as a data frame and perform the other operations. Okay. Okay, so that's it for today. Thank you for joining. Okay.